The story of an Arizona woman who's fighting for her release this morning. This married mother of 7 is behind bars in Mexico, accused of trying to smuggle drugs. NBC's Miguel Almaguer is in Nogales, Arizona, with the latest on this. Miguel, good morning.
Savannah, good morning. Yanira Maldonado is being held just across the border in Nogales, Mexico. On Tuesday, the court heard from witnesses whose testimony could help the Mormon mother, who's now an accused drug smuggler, win back her freedom.
Yanira and Gary Maldonado traveled from their Phoenix area home to Mexico for the funeral of Yanira's aunt. On their way back home, their bus was stopped at a checkpoint in Hermosillo, where soldiers searched the vehicle and said they found more than 12 pounds of marijuana strapped to the underside of Yanira's seat. Her family says it wasn't hers.
My wife, she's a loving mom, a great wife, and a grandma, and she just had a grandbaby 3 weeks ago. So we were there for the birth, and then our 1-year anniversary was this last Saturday, but she had to spend it in present.
Maldonado, an American citizen originally from Mexico, was moved from Hermosillo to a jail in Nogales. Her family in the United States, devout members of the Latter-day Saints Church, have launched an all-out effort to clear her name.
They're pressuring her to sign something, and Gary says, hang in there, don't give in, don't sign anything without the lawyer.
The U.S. State Department and Arizona Senator Jeff Flake say they're monitoring the situation, communicating with Mexican authorities and the Maldonado family. But with their mother remaining in what her family calls difficult jailhouse conditions, every day apart feels like an eternity.
It's just unbelievable, I feel like it's a movie, a nightmare. I want to wake up. There's no way to. I'm like, there's no way to escape.
Maldonado will be back in court today. She hasn't officially been charged with a crime. The hearing is to determine if there's enough evidence for a trial. A judge is expected to make that decision by Friday. Savannah.
All right, Miguel Almaguer just across the border in Nogales this morning. Thank you. We're joined now by Yanira Maldonado's daughter, Anna Soto, and her brother-in-law, Brandon Klippel. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Morning.
Brandon, let me start with you. As I understand it, Yanira was able to speak to her husband, Gary, on the phone as recently as yesterday. How is she doing?
She's scared. She's in a prison that's got horrible conditions. She's not very happy about the situation at all, as you could imagine, but she's very hopeful. And after yesterday's witnesses and testimony, she's really looking forward to being reunited with her family soon.
I want to ask you about that in a moment, but Anna, as I understand it, you actually got to see her on Saturday and visited her in jail. What did you observe about the jail conditions, and how did she seem to you?
Well, I can tell you they're not very professional. The guards there were kind of rude. When I first pulled up, we kind of had to walk up this little dirt slump area, and there was a prison guard standing out there with his gun, just holding it right over his shoulder. So that already gave me a bad vibe about it. Then the gate, I don't know, we had no privacy at all, Luckily, we both speak English, and we got to talk, a little bit, but yeah. I didn't feel comfortable about anything there.
Brandon, as we just heard, Yanira and her husband were on a bus ride coming home from a family wedding in Mexico. The Mexican police, the federal authorities, pulled them over, and they say they found 12 pounds of marijuana under their seat. What do you think really happened here?
Well, I talked to Gary because they originally arrested him and told him that the drugs were found beneath his seat. And, I asked him, could they have been there? Would you have seen them? He said that he didn't see anything, that they never showed him any drugs. He doesn't know if they ever existed in the first place. We just know that they had nothing to do with it, whether they were there beforehand or whether they were planted there by somebody else.
So do you suspect at all, Anna, that perhaps they were looking for a bribe?
That's what I've heard of in the past, but, I don't know. I mean, it's just things I've heard, but I don't know what they wanted. I just know that my mom was there at a bad time.
Brandon, as we just heard, there haven't been charges filed yet, but that decision could come in a couple of days, at which point she may be held in that Mexican jail for some time. And what is your greatest fear here?
Well, our greatest fear right now is that our sister will be lost. You know, one of the things the attorney said to us right at the beginning was that once you're in the federal prison system, they move you around without keeping good records. In fact, she was lost for the first day in the prison system when this first started. So if she's moved and transported around, we may never see our sister again, and that's something that would just be devastating to our family.
Well, Brandon Klippel and Anna Soto, I know you've reached out to authorities here in the United States. Please keep us posted on what happens here. We appreciate your time.